Okay, so let's start by defining what a JavaScript is, JS in short. So JavaScript,
Moment, I'm here.
okay,
After after starting it, I was just rushing to the house.
okay,
So I'm still connected with the phone. So I'm now to boot my laptop and then join. I'll
okay.
join with the machine too. I started it with the machine with the laptop with the phone.
Uh, okay.
Okay.
Okay, so JavaScript is just a scripting or a programming language that allows you to implement complex feature on the web pages. So it is more of adding interaction or interactivity to your website in order not to just make the website static. So JavaScript is all about behavior. It's all about behavior. And one thing I like about JavaScript is a dynamic language. It's not a typed language. You know, you people started with Python with Mr. Emmanuel Fosu. So you saw that Python was a strictly typed language where anytime you have to declare a variable or something like that, you have to uh, go down, or you have to do that with the various data types. All right, so we will see why we are saying JavaScript is a dynamic language. So JavaScript is used to implement behavior on your web page. That is how you want your web page to respond. Example, when you click on a button, what do you want or what do you expect to happen? When you hover on a button, so all those things can also be done or is being done by JavaScript. So a typical example of a JavaScript involving any website is the animation aspect, the scrolling effect, and other features. So that's just the overview of, or that's just an intro to JavaScript. Is a dynamic language that is that allows you to implement complex features on the web page. That's it. So let's move on to um, the next section, which we are going to look at variables. We are going to look at variables, how to declare and assign variables in JavaScript. So with that one, we can even try in the console here. So JavaScript runs in any browser that you have on your machine. So when you open any browser, I'm using Google Chrome. You can use any browser of your choice. You just go to inspect, and it will open the developer side for you where you have the console, source code, and the rest. So you can write JavaScript in the console here, and it will work for you. So what can you do? So before even we start with the variables and the rest, let's see what you can do with JavaScript. So at first, JavaScript was what just used for the front end applications or the front end side of your website. So at first, JavaScript runs just in the browsers, but I think in 2009, a man forgotten the name. He also started implementing JavaScript at the server side. That's how come we have Node.js for the JavaScript server side environment. So that's it. So as a JavaScript developer, you can be a full stack developer by not bothering yourself to learn any other language apart from JS. And I'm one of those developers, JavaScript bias. I don't do any programming languages apart from JavaScript. Though I'm familiar with Python and PHP, but I don't do Python. I don't do PHP. All that I do is JavaScript, and it is a full stack something for me. And if you want to be a front end developer, there is no language that you have to learn apart from JavaScript. Now, all the front end applications are being built with JavaScript. So we have a lot of libraries and frameworks that are built on top of JavaScript. And before you can learn any of those frameworks, you have to abreast yourself, or you have to learn JavaScript very, very, very well. So today we are going to start from the fundamentals, from the basis of JavaScript. Please, all of you should pay attention. If you don't understand anything, let me know, and let's set the ball rolling, because at the end of the day, we are going to vote and see if we'll go with React or Vue.js, and learn at least one framework on top of whatever we are doing. So we are not just going to learn the language. We can't just jump straight and go and learn the language, the framework. That's why today we are starting with the JavaScript. Okay, so let's start with variables, which most of you already know in any other programming languages like Python, C++, and the rest. So before even we start with that, let's create a folder on our machine, or any part of the machine. I have it on my desktop, JS Mastery with Bob. You can use any name of your choice, and open the folder inside the VS Code. We are still going to use VS Code for this course too. So I'm sure most of you have your VS Code intact. Okay. So let's create our first file. I'm going to name it index.html. Someone will ask, hey, but you say we are going to learn JavaScript, HTML again. Yeah. So JavaScript cannot just run alone. You need to run that in HTML. So, but we are not going to write any HTML. We are just using the HTML to run the JavaScript. That's what we are going to do. Then the next one is you can name it index.js. Okay, so here we are not going to do anything. All that we are going to do is we are going to generate the default HTML templates that we all know. So just press the shift and the exclamation sign and press enter to generate this. So I'm going to name my JS Mastery Day 1. Day 1. Please, are you coding along, or you wait and get the videos and code along with me? Hello. Please, are you following?
Yes, please. Yes, we are.
Okay. All right. So this is the first step. And here, as usual, we have two ways of adding JavaScript to our website. So we have the internal one and the external one. So let's see. So where do you have to place your JavaScript? So with JavaScript, you can place it inside the header and also inside the body. Which one is the best option? That's the question. So normally we place JavaScript, or we place all our scripting inside the body, not the head. You can place it inside the head, but this, when you place it here, you know that in programming, most programming languages, it executes or it runs from the top to the down. So when you place all your JavaScript files here, or your scripting here, and maybe there is a blockage, or let's say there are a lot of tasks to be executed, it's going to block your browser from rendering your HTML. That is why it's not advisable to place your JavaScript inside the head tag, but rather inside the body tag. So normally it is being placed at the bottom of your body. That is here. It should be placed here where the cursor is blinking. So all other HTML file can be here, and your JavaScript will be at the bottom of your body. So let's write our first JavaScript language or programming. So all that you have to do is what? You have to declare your script tag as you can see. And here we can print something inside the console. Like I said, JavaScript runs in the browser. It runs in the browser. So we are going to write. So let's console log. So we are just printing. I think Python uses print, right? So in JavaScript, we use console.log. If you want to print something to the console, we use console.log. Apart from this, we have other ways of showing message to the user. We are going to look at that one too, but the most common approach is the console.log. So let's say console.log hello Bob, and you just terminate it or end it with a semicolon. So all that you have to do is what? You run it, and when you run it, you are not going to see this and in the interface, because this is JavaScript and it runs inside the browser, not so here we can, we want to see something on a page. So let's declare h1 here and write the same thing. Hello Bob. Oh, it will confuse you. So let me just use different thing. What should I write here? So let me use hello world here. That's the first programming language for most of us. So let's run it. Okay, so this is not what I'm looking for. I'm looking for hello Bob. So how do I see hello Bob? All that you have to do is right click and go to inspect and come to console. So you can see hello Bob here. Let me refresh the browser again. I don't want to see that live server thing. All right, so hello Bob. So this is our first JavaScript programming. This is our first JavaScript programming. So just write console.log hello Bob. Apart from console.log, we also have alerts. We also have alerts. And for alerts, that one will be on the web page as a pop-up. So alert the same thing. Hello Bob. Let's save it and go to our browser and see. So you can see. So that's the difference between the alert and the console. So the alert will pop up. So this one will run before the page even runs. So that's why it's not advisable to use this. So you can see the hello word that I code inside the main body hasn't been loaded yet, unless we click on OK before it will come. So this one blocks the browser from rendering your HTML elements. That is why it is not advisable to put your JavaScript inside the browser, because it's going to block the whole HTML element from rendering on your screen for you. All right. So any question here? I think here is not anything. It's just we are just printing messages. But if you don't understand anything, let me know. Let's move on to the main work for the day or for the evening. So here we are going to look at how to link your JavaScript to your HTML. So how do you do that? All that you have to do is did I use an index? So index, let me rename it. Index dot. All right, so let me save this. Okay, so right now all that you have to do is what? It's the same thing. It's the same thing how to link your CSS to the HTML, but just that here we use source src and the source to what? Index.js. So it's the same thing. You guys, I know you know this, so there's no need for me to even worry myself here. So all that you have to do is what? Create your index.js and link it down here. So this is how you link the JavaScript to your HTML. Okay, so inside the inside our JavaScript, let's see whether it is running or not. So as usual, let's console something. Console.log. Hello, are you there? Okay. So today we are looking at just the basics of JavaScript. I know some of you know this already, so maybe you know few the class, but it's very, very important. So that's what we have here. So let's move on to the variables. So variables, let me ask this question. What are variables? As for this one, I know you know. So tell me, what are variables?
A variable is just a container to hold something.
That's it. So in programming, variables are used to store data in memory. So as Mr. Abdul said, it's a container that is used to store data or anything. So just picture a variable as a container. So let's see how to declare a variable in JavaScript. So in JavaScript, in the beginning, I said JavaScript is a typed language. It's a dynamic language. It's not a typed language. So let's see why we are saying JavaScript is a dynamic language here. So at first, we were using variable, that is var variable, to declare a variable. That's what we were using. We were using var variable, which stands for variable. So var, let's say city. So this is the first variable declaration. But as yesterday I was telling, okay, some of you were not there. The JavaScript language evolves. At first, there were no rules that govern JavaScript, so you can do whatever you want to do. But now we have ECMA 15, ECMA 7, 6, 5. Yeah, right now we are using the 7. So these are the rules that govern JavaScript. So you can even read about ECMAScript. So some people call JavaScript ECMAScript. I don't know whether you guys have heard about ECMAScript before. You can just Google it and see. All right. So now we don't use var again. There are two main ways of declaring variables in JavaScript. That is, we use the lets and the const keywords. So these are the main two ways of declaring variables in JavaScript. So the lets keyword, with that one, when you assign or when you declare any variable using the let keyword, you can reassign that again. But so that's the difference between the const and the let. But if you use const, so the const in short, that's for constant. So if you use as the name constant, meaning the variable will be static and cannot be changed again. Please, that's clear.
Yes. Yeah.
Okay. Okay. So let's look at some of the rules for declaring or naming variables. So one, we can say that they cannot be a reserved word. Some of the reserved word is what you guys see on the screen, let and const. You can't say let equals something. That one is not permitted in JavaScript. And so we have some keywords in JavaScript, some let, const, var, if, and else. All those are keywords that you can use to name your variables in JavaScript. And also, you cannot start with a number. You can't declare a variable by starting the name with a number, which I know you guys know this already. Then we can also say there should be no space between the variable names or hyphen. So instead of hyphen in JavaScript, we use underscore in naming your what do you call it? Your variables. And any variable that you are going to name is case sensitive. They are case sensitive. So we are another way of declaring variables. So yesterday, Emmanuel Fosu was even teaching that we have the Pascal naming approach, and we also have the we have the snake naming approach, the Pascal. And which one again? I use the Pascal a lot. Guys, have you forgotten?
Yes, we have forgotten.
Oh, so the Pascal, I think the Pascal naming is where we have each of the, if you have two names combined, each of the names start with capital letters, and the other one I've forgotten, but that
Somebody
one
said camel case.
Camel case, yes. So with the camel case, I think the first letter starts with small, and the second one will start with uppercase. Yes. So these are the two main ways of naming variables in two approaches that we use in naming variables in JavaScript. If you don't see the Pascal, you see the camel case. Yes, that's what I've been seeing a lot. That's what I've been using. I personally, I like using the camel case where each of the letters will start with capital. Each of the words will start with capital letters. All right, so enough of the talking. Let's do some action here. So we can. So in JavaScript data types, we have two main data types. We have the primitive types and the reference types. You can take note of some of these things because, as I said today, I didn't prepare any slides for you. So whatever I'm saying, most of them are from experience, and I've also do some learning before coming to teach you. All right. So we have, with the data types in JavaScript, we have the primitive data types and the reference data types. So we are going to look at the primitive data types first. So let's see what's so primitive. Let me put it in the comments. Primitive data types. So they are the string. So the first one is string. The second one is numbers. Then the next one is Boolean. Boolean. The next one is undefined. Undefined. And the last one is null. All right, so we are going to use this a lot in JavaScript. In fact, this is all that you'll be doing at the beginning. Later on, then we look at the primitive type where we have object, array, and functions. So let's begin with this primitive data types, which you guys know this already. Okay, so let's start with numbers. So let's see how to declare a number. So what is the difference between declaring a variable and assigning a variable? It's a question.
When you declare a variable, it doesn't have a value. But
okay.
If you declare and assign a variable, you give the variable its value.
Okay. So in JavaScript, when you declare a variable and you don't assign any value, the value automatically that is assigned to that is called undefined. So that's it. So let's use the let. So let city equals Accra. So this is what? A string, right? So this is an example of string. So that's the first one. The second one, let's say let's age equals 20. Please, are you following? So we are looking at the fundamentals. Yes. Then the next one is Boolean. So with Boolean, we can say let is approved equals true. So this is example of Boolean data type. And this one is example of string declaration and assigning at the same time data type. And this one is what? This one is for number. Let's look at the next one. So with the next one, that is what? Undefined. So with undefined in JavaScript, if you declare any variable without assigning any value to that, automatically is undefined. So we can say let color. So you can just declare something like this. So right now, let's console log color, console.log color, and see just this one. The rest of them, the reason why I should have console everything here, but I know you guys know this already, and I don't want to waste time because already 38 minutes is gone. So let's console log color and see what we have in the browser. Where's my browser? So you can see undefined here. Please, can you see my console from the console? Hello. Please, can you all read this?
Yes.
Yes, please.
The hello world.
And the down one?
The down one is undefined.
Yes. So we are getting that from this. We are getting that from the last one, which is color, console.log color. And the reason why it's undefined is we didn't assign any value to this. Then the next one is the same undefined. We can also declare a variable and assign undefined to that, which doesn't make sense, but that's JavaScript for you. We can say let first name equals undefined. You can do this in JavaScript, console.log first name. Let's see what we are going to get. So let me comment this one out and go and comment the first one also out so that we get only one response in the browser. So you can see we have undefined here. Please, can you all read from the browser?
Yes, we can read.
All right. So that's it. Then the next one, the last one under primitive data type is what? Now. So in JavaScript, we can also assign now to any value that you declare in variable in JavaScript. So we can use now. So a typical example is when you are building or when you are building, let's say when you are building a front-end application where you'll be consuming APIs. Please, I hope you guys know API. Okay, if you don't know API, I think
Yes,
Mr. Imanofosu will be teaching you API. So you guys should try your best to learn whatever he has asked you guys to learn. So if you're expecting, let's say you are expecting first name, second name, or first name, last name, or let's say you are expecting data from your API call, but the data is not there yet, you can assign now to that data type so that when it comes, you just replace the now. Right now, maybe I know it will not make sense, but as time goes on, you guys will understand this now bit. Okay. So that's all about the primitive data type. So here we have string, we have numbers, Boolean, undefined, and now. Please, any question here?
For now, no.
You understand everything? Okay. So let me show you another thing. So in JavaScript, if you want to check the data type of a particular data, we have an inbuilt method or function that we use to check that. So for example, let's go inside the browser and let's declare a variable here. So you can write JavaScript also here. Let first name equals Bob. Okay, so first name has already been declared. So I have already declared first name here. So let me just comment this one out and go and declare it again. Or better still, I can use last name. So let last name equals Aubrey. Okay, so console.log last name. So we have Aubrey here. So if I want to check the data type for last name, all that you have to do is just use type of last name. So you can see the type is what? String. So we have some inbuilt method like type of. We are going to look at other inbuilt methods as time goes on. So without wasting time, let's jump straight to the other side, which is the reference type. So in JavaScript, we have what is called an object. So I think objects also, we have objects also in Python and C++ and other languages, right?
Yes, we do.
Yeah. So let's look at objects. So objects, when you talk about objects, so objects is just the object that we have in the real life system. For example, let's say human being or a person. We can say person is an object. So in JavaScript, the primitive type, the first thing that you're going to look at, the first data type under that is object. So object here, instead of declaring first name, last name, age, you know that they are all attributes or they are all properties of a person. So we can just declare it once and use that inside. So let me prove that. So we can say let person equals. So you use a curly braces to represent object in JavaScript. We use the curly braces like what you guys are seeing on the screen. So here, what properties do you want to use for this? So we want the person's first name. So here we can say first name equals. So here we don't use equal sign because we have already declared using equal sign here. In object, we use colon instead of equal sign. If you use equal sign here, you are going to get error here. So let's say first name equals Kofi. Then last name is Mensa. Then age is 30. Okay, so right now let's console.log Kofi, a person. All right, so you can see this is object in JavaScript. So what if you want to print only the first name? Who can tell me how you can achieve that?
Maybe if dot operator is usable here.
Yes, we can use dot operator here. So what do you mean by that?
You can do person dot first name.
Yes, it will work. So let's see. Person dot. So you can see the properties have been pop out here. So person dot first name. So right now, let's see. We have what? Just Kofi.
Yeah.
Yes. Then, and there's another way of getting the properties here. Instead of using the dot notation, we can also use the bracket notation where we say console.log person, then with this bracket, then you specify the attributes that you want. So like the dot notation. So first name. No, this one, let's use age. Age. Age is undefined, right? Why are we getting age is not undefined here? Let's try last name and see. Okay. Last name is not defined, right? A. This one is strange. Okay, let me use the parentheses here and see. Okay, it works. JavaScript. Okay, so here which object it is in key paired. So we have this is the key and this is the value. So if you want to access any of the keys using the bracket notation, then we have to use the double or the single quote to do that. So like I said, JavaScript is some way, but I think I'm just going to teach you what you guys need. That's what we are doing here. We are starting with the fundamentals. I know most of the things you guys already know this. So are you guys okay with the objects now?
Yes.
Yes. So that's all.
Why is it that after every value pair you put comma and the last one you didn't put anything there?
Okay, so we have the last one. The reason why I didn't put any comma here is we don't have any other property after this.
Then you put full stop.
Okay, you don't put a full stop here. So you can end it here rather. You can end it here. Let's see. What you see when you end it here, you get error.
Yes.
What is this saying? You say expected what? Can you read?
Expected. Hey. Comma.
Comma. Instead of this.
Yeah, exactly.
Yes. I know this, you know already, but you're asking.
Somehow.
Oh, but you can see, one thing about programming is if you know one language, it's transferable. Or you don't see any similarities between this and what you have already done.
So many similarities.
It's the same thing, Crampo. It's the same thing. Or can you show me some differences here? We have this data type, string, numbers, Boolean, just the undefined, and now I know they are not in other languages. Just that, for example, with Python and C++, if you want to declare a variable, you have to do string name, first name equals meboa. Yes, but here we don't want to stress yourself. We are saying the data type that you are declaring, we know that already. So don't come and tell us. You understand? So that's the one beautiful thing about JavaScript. You don't have to go and worry yourself and say string or number or Boolean like the way we have been doing in other programming languages. With that is why we have the type of this this property there. So if someone declare any value or variable that you haven't seen before or you don't understand, you can use type of to check the type of data type it is, or the data type. So you can just use this method. It is an inbuilt method, type of. So JavaScript is somehow straightforward. It's somehow straightforward. All right, so let's move on to the next one, which is array. Which is an array, and with array we are going to tackle array as a whole topic again. Today we are just looking at it under reference type as data type, but we are going to take array as a whole, as a topic on its own, and look at something called the array methods. And in JavaScript, the secret here is if you know the string methods and the array methods, you are about 60 to 70% okay or good with JavaScript. They are the methods that you'll be using most in every application that you are going to build. You are going to use these array methods. When you get there, you know them. I don't want to bombard you with a lot of terms here. So let's move on to the next one, which is the array. So what is an array? What is an array? Oh, guys, but yesterday you guys did array. Just that the name there wasn't an array. I think in Python, we call it list or something. So what is an array?
I think array
is that?
I think array is like assigning two or more variable, two or more data array to one variable.
Assigning what?
As in the list, something like.
Yes.
Like.
Yes.
Values, two or more values to one variable. Yeah.
Okay, so in JavaScript,
array is just like it's a set of elements of the same kind.
Okay, but in JavaScript, that's why you are saying JavaScript is a dynamic language. An array can enhance, or it can contain list of different kind, Mr. Abdul.
Okay.
Yes, so that's one beautiful thing about JavaScript. So I don't know, maybe in other languages it should be just of the same kind, right? If you are dealing with strings, it should be strings, Kofi, Ama.
Exactly.
But in JavaScript you can mix them. Yes, you can mix them. All right, so in JavaScript, as you guys said, it's the same thing. So it's just a data structure that is used to list products or objects. So that's an array. Is just a data structure that is used to list products or objects. Guys, I don't know whether you guys are okay with the pace that I'm going. I know for today I'm going slow, right?
It is okay.
Yeah. And I know till now the picture is clear, or
Yeah.
because most of these things you know them, you have seen them somewhere already. This why I put it on you. All right. All right. So let's look at some of the examples of arrays in JavaScript, which we have already even mentioned them. So let's say const. Hey, if I use const, we can't change it again. So let's use color or colors. You can't say color. So colors equals what? This. So let's say red, comma, blue. The last one, let's say yellow. So console.log colors. Okay, so right now let's go to the browser and check what we have. So you can see we have red, blue, and yellow here. And every array, as you guys know, has indexes. And it starts from where 0 to the last one, right? So here, instead of starting from 1 to 3, start from 0, 1, and 2. So with array, as I've been saying, JavaScript is dynamic. We can iterate, or we can change the values here, or we can add some values to it. Right now, we can check the length. So instead of what is the length of arrays here? What is the length of arrays here? Or what is the length of the array? That should be the question. How do you check the length of an array? You can just do that by using the array name .length. So color or colors .length. You can see it is here.
So it's 3.
Yes. The answer is 3. So right now, what if right now I have 0, 1, 2. The third one, I want to push, or I want to insert a new color here. How do I do that? So all that you have to do is just do colors, then use the bracket notation. The bracket notation, array index 3. I want to do what? I want to insert color green. Right now, let's call the colors again and see. So you can see now we have how many colors? The length has been changed, right? Instead
4,
of 3,
yes.
now we have what? 4.
4, yeah.
So in JavaScript, array and objects are not static. They are dynamic. You can do anything. You can delete the first array, the first value here. You can even change the first value here. We can, instead of red here, we can change it to black. Who can try that one for me? Based on how we did this, someone should just try that one for me. Hey, any challenger?
I think you will just do colors, square brackets. For instance, if you want to change yellow to white, you can just do square brackets 2. Then you assign. So it will change it.
To what? Black.
To white. To
Okay.
white or black.
So right now, let's list colors again. So it has been changed.
Exactly.
Yes. So that's all I want from you guys. Please, do you understand this? Okay. Then let's move on to the next part. I think today I'm running very fast. Oh, wow. Oh, that's nice. I say yeah, we cry. All right. Then the last bit of this is object. Object. Object is the building block of JavaScript. I will not lie you. Everything that you are going to see here will be in the form of object. Function rather. So in JavaScript, we write functions a lot. So in JavaScript, I think we have two types of functions. We have statement function, and we have another function that we use to calculate. So I think with the statement function, it has just a function that prints statement or something. And the next function is function that return a result, or the function that perform a specific task. Okay, so let's start with functions right now. So today we have looked at the first one is just a printing statement. We also look at how to declare and assign variables in JavaScript, and also we have looked at the various data types that we have in JavaScript, and we said we have what? The primitive data types, where we have string, numbers, Boolean, undefined, and what? Now. Though I didn't dive more into now and undefined, but you guys are going to meet them again, I promise. And we have looked at the examples under the both the primitive and the reference type. So under reference type, we have looked at objects. We have also looked at what? Array. Now we are moving to the last one, which is functions. Functions. So that's the last bit of this, functions. Okay, so how do you declare, or how do you write functions in JavaScript? So in JavaScript, there are two ways of writing functions. We have the first one, which is the traditional approach, by starting that with the function name, with just function. So anytime you see this in JavaScript, it means what? It's a function. Then the next one should be the name of the function. So the name of the function should be what? Let's say code boot. Then you bring what? Your is it parentheses or some your bracket, eh? Then the next one is your curly braces. So we can say console.log code boot. So how do you print this? Right now, let's go to our browser and see if we are going to see code boot inside the browser. It didn't work. How do we call this function? Who can access that? So you can call the function, or you can print this console.log console.log code boot by just calling the function name here. So you can just say code boot, then with the parentheses or the bracket. Let's save it and go back and check. I think this time it should work. So you can see it is here. So the first one is just statement function or something. So this is the first type of function. This is the first type of function, a function that just prints or that just console something out. Then the next type of function that we are going to look at is a function that takes input inside this curly braces, inside this bracket, and render it. So the same thing. So we can use function name here. Let's use the name. Is someone asking question?
Not yet.
Okay. So let's say function person. So person and object. And inside this, we want to print the first name and the second name. So we can take this function can take we call this one, anything inside this one is called parameter. It's called parameter. So we can say first name again. Then we can also say what last name. So here, how do you print this one out? Since we have some arguments here, we are not just going to console. We are going to, or let's say instead of first name and second name, let's do some calculation here. So let's take number here. So the function name should be add rather. Add or sum. Let's say sum. So we can return this by doing number plus number. Though we have not started with operators in JavaScript, but I know you guys are familiar with some of these things, though we are not there yet, but you guys know, because as I said, programming languages are the same. Whatever you do in Python, you can just bring the whole idea here, just that here there are some few things that will change. Okay, so how do you get this? So it's the same thing. So you can call the name of the function, which is what? Sum. The inside sum, you need to pass the, so here the name is what? An argument, and here will be what? A parameter. Here is parameter. Let me put, okay, so you can see it is even showing there. So whatever you have here is called parameter. I hope you guys can read it. All right.
Yes, we can read.
Yes. Then inside this one, because you are passing a parameter inside your function, you have to pass the argument here. You have to pass the argument here. So what are you trying to do? We want to add two numbers. So we can just, because here you specify only one parameter, here it has to take only one argument. Please, we are learning foundational, so you guys should pay attention. When you say Bedu Baby, when you start putting things together, because hey, what is this? But this is the basis. Right now, I know it's not difficult. As a be clear, and I'm excited, and I want you guys to pay attention and like right now grab everything from the beginning, because when you get to the intermediate, it might be something which is there. All right. So we can pass any number here, any number. So let me use 7 here. And okay, so because we want to see this in the console, if we just call the name Psalm 7, you are not going to see anything in the console. Please, do you guys agree with that?
Yes.
Yes, because we are not printing anything. We are just calling the function. So nothing will happen. So in order for this to happen, what do? Console.log. Then you call the function inside. So the answer is what? 14. So 7 plus 7. Please, are you following?
Yes.
Yeah, so it's very, very simple. It's very, very, very simple. It's very, very simple. Yes.
So does it mean that, see with the first example for the function, the example, we did console.log, and then we were printing code bits.
Yeah.
So when we call the function, straight away display code bits. A print function inside the function already. So that with the add situation. If instead of return, we are let's say we are created another variable inside the function. Let's say total, and then we equated it to the number plus number, and then we brought in the console.log inside the function, saying that we should display the total, and then we call just the function add with the parameter. Let's have displayed the total.
Okay, so let's try that one too and see. So instead of returning num plus num here, you are saying you should assign it to something, right?
Yes, please.
So we are not returning, no. We are saying let's total, right? Let's say total. That's a very nice question. Let's see if it will work. Let's total equals num plus num. Then what next?
And then you log total.
Is that console log total here?
Yes.
Total. Then you just call the
you should call the sum straight away. It should work.
Sum. Without passing any argument?
You have to pass in an argument.
Okay.
Any number to represent the number.
Okay, so let's use 9 here.
Okay.
So it worked.
Yes.
So JavaScript is a dynamic language. It's a dynamic language. It's just a matter. The reason why we are starting from here, you guys are asking questions, and I like, is if the fundamentals is weak, when you get to
the exchange rate will expose you.
Guys, please, I hope you guys understand just the little thing that we have done today.
Yeah.
Is it clear enough? All right, so
Senior Robert, is it possible that a function can have string and number parameters?
Yes, so that's the next question I wanted to even ask you. So right now we have done numbers. Let's go to string, and I want someone to just try this one for me too. Write a function that prints your first name and your second name. Anyone can share his or her screen and try that one for me.
Today I'm doing a lazy work. I'm not, in fact, honestly, I'm not. I would have tried, but I'm not working along.
Okay, but let's do that together.
So I can do that on your screen.
Yes, let's do that together. I can see Kunadu is here. Kunadu. Hello, Kunadu. I think the only Yas and Twa in our mix now. All the ladies are gone.
They came with excuses, eh?
Oh, Charlie.
I saw Amina giving a big excuse. Kai.
But if you missed today's class, well, man, I don't know. Saturday, I don't know. I think Saturday too, maybe you start with the operators, even operators, if you have time, you do operators today. Maybe even that's what we have started. Num plus, though I have not introduced to you, but that's what we are doing now. That is how to use the arithmetic operators and other operators in JavaScript. So under arithmetic operators, we have the plus, we have the minus, we have the Boolean. I say Boolean. We have the module,
division and multiplication.
So you see, it's the same concept too. The same concept. So let's try what I'm saying. So let's write a function that takes your first name and your second name and print it out for you.
So write function.
So function.
Full name. Full name. then open brackets, and then put first name, comma, last name.
So it should take
parameters first name, comma, last name.
Last name. Okay. What's next?
Then
we should return
console.log.
Hey, you want to use the console here. Console.log.
But you said we should write a function that prints.
Okay, so you should return.
Okay.
Return and print is the same thing. So
hey.
The main reason why I wanted to start using the return is when we are working with the real world applications. Remember, we are not going to console.
Yeah.
This console.log is used in debugging JavaScript codes.
Okay, right now, let me do editing. Cancel the console.log. Go back and change full name to name, just name.
Just name, eh?
No, full name. Just make it name. Then you come into the body. Let full name equals I don't know how to concatenate here.
I think we can do first.
You guys should try. I
don't know how to concatenate, but
first name,
first name plus
no. Hey,
and then you add a space. So let's bring colon space colon.
Are you saying colon like this?
I mean, no. Hey, did I say colon? Sorry. I'm trying to say
quotes.
Quotes, yes. Quote space. Let's put a space in between the quotes.
Then remove the plus.
And then you go to the next.
Okay, add plus again.
He's on the right track.
Add plus again.
Plus again.
Then you do last name.
And
then you return full name.
Terminate before.
I've done it.
Okay.
Return
full name.
Okay, I think name in this instance. So return. Oh, okay. So there's full name. Okay, that's fine. Yeah. So return full name.
Is that all?
Yeah. So you
can come outside the function. And then console.log.
You can console.log. Then you can do some flexing there. My name is
name into brackets, and then we'll put in our parameters.
So how many arguments are you going to take here?
Two arguments.
2 arguments, eh?
Yes.
Yeah.
So let's use Kokumensa again.
Have you used it before?
Yes.
Oh, then you can use something else.
Kokumensa. So let's see if this one also works.
Forgot the quotes.
The quote inside.
Yeah.
Are you sure?
No, these are arguments. Oh.
These are arguments. Oh. Okay, let's try.
Arguments, you cannot code them.
Let's try. JavaScript and it works. let's see without arguments.
Without the arguments.
If you don't get error there. Koku is not defined. All right. So that's it. Guys.
Okay,
so,
since there are string types.
Yeah. If it were to be just numbers.
Yeah.
You can just use numbers without that double quote or single quote. Yeah.
So this one, they collaborated work. We work together.
Yes. Yes. But guys, I hope it's clear, right?
Yeah, it's very clear.
Angela.
Angela just joined and put the phone down and
Yes,
then.
sir.
Angela, is it clear?
It's clear, sir.
The base is there, I know. But I think this is the pace that you'll be going. I will not speed, or I will not just rush and finish the course for you. No, that's not the goal. The goal is not just to finish the course.
Okay, sir.
So I think with this little thing that we have done today, the next thing that we are going to look at will be the operator. So you guys should the operators where you can add two numbers and subtract, multiply, and do those arithmetic operators.
I think we
should we do that one today? And I bet awesome. Guys, should we continue?
We can go and read on that and then start from there next week.
Yes. You see, JavaScript is some way, so I don't want to. Like I said, the goal is not just to finish the course, though we are doing this within this month, but the whole of this month, I'll be coming Saturday, Sunday. So I think we have enough time to grab the JavaScript. So after learning JavaScript, then we start with either Vue or React. Then from there, I can say I've ended the class with you guys. Then maybe we will start another one next year. We start all over again. Abdul, what do you think about that?
Yeah, no, it's okay. We can go and read on that against next week.
No, like the plan. I said after doing this, the next one will be we are going to take one framework and tackle it. I think maybe
Vue.js.
Between Vue and React, we are going to choose one. I know most of you vote for Vue. You do Vue.
I've already voted for Vue.
So guys, after knowing
when we were doing CSS, Vue was just tickling us in there.
All right. So after you guys learning Vue.js and with Python, you can call yourself a full stack developer, but it doesn't just work that way unless you yourself you start building applications and host them on GitHub.